Just kidding. There's a fun fact about elderberries that they are right off the bush toxic. Not that you're gonna be rushed to the hospital or anything toxic, but kind of like the rest of the afternoon you're gonna regret making that decision of eating a raw elderberry. But by the end of this video, we will have a chance to eat actual elderberries right off the bush. So let's get started. All right, it is August, early August, in zone 8A here in the US Southeast, and we are looking at harvesting some elderberries from our second year elderberry bush. This is the first time I've ever done this before, so you can come with me. We can check out how to know when elderberries are ready to harvest. They're not all going to be ready at the same time, but we can talk about that. We're going to talk about turning this haul of elderberries into something we can eat, which is jam. And I'm going to be doing jam in the bread maker because that is what we do here with our jam. All right, color. This is what we're looking for. Look at that beautiful black purplish kind of almost matte color. It is so pretty, and these are definitely elderberries that are ready to be harvested. I don't have too many of the ones that aren't ready. This bush has been growing like crazy and the berries have pretty much all ripened, but let's see, I got one right here. Show you. But when you're talking about color, you don't want to pick these because they're not ripe. They're red, they're green. That's not just because they're not ripe and not ready to eat. It's also part of the toxicity issue. You don't even want to cook them when they're like this because that's another way you can get sick. You definitely want to make sure that they are ready to be harvested. All right, let's talk about the droop. See how these are just kind of drooping down. This is the plant's way of telling you, pick me, pick me. Another one. I don't have any to show you. See how droopy and heavy that is? But if they were green, not ready to harvest, they would be kind of perked up. So wait for them to be droopy. All right, the squish test, the ripe elderberry is plump and it'll be nice and red and juicy and stain your fingers like this. Check it out. This is not coming off before church. I'll tell you that right now. One more thing, the whole bush doesn't ripen at once and the clusters come ready over a couple of weeks. So I only take the clusters that are fully dark and leave the rest for other passes in a few days. Oh, and if you're still not sure, then watch the birds. The birds know if the berries are ready. If I wait too long, the mockingbirds will do the harvesting for me and they will not leave a tip. No, sir. No, sir. Come here, buddy. Later, we'll get you some jam on toast. Just remember that if elderberries are toxic for humans, they are toxic for your pets. So don't let them get those while they're raw. All right, this is what we're working with. I am hoping that there is 3 cups here so we can make our jam. Couple of things. When you harvest these, put them on something that's maybe shallow, not deep, so that the top ones aren't crushing the ones on the bottom. Also, get them inside as soon as you pull them or as soon as you take them off the bush because the birds will, of course, enjoy the buffet you just offered them. And the other thing is when you harvest them, harvest the clusters. Don't waste time picking each individual berry because you'll be here until September. So let's go make some jam. All right, we're at the part where we are going to start cleaning these, but here's the trick. Just like I said outside, you don't want to spend the whole day trying to pick these little berries off of the stems. So we're gonna freeze them and they're gonna turn into little marbles and they should come off a lot easier. So let's get them in the freezer. right, these are gonna go in for about an hour. You don't need to freeze them all day, so we'll check back in an hour. Okay, moment of truth. The berries have been in my freezer for about 2 or 3 hours. I didn't feel like an hour was long enough. You can leave them in for overnight, but go a little bit longer than an hour. And one thing I did not mention earlier, but when you start harvesting these berries and you start making something with them, whether it's tea or jam, wear something dark or an apron. Don't just assume that the stain's gonna come out, because the stain is real. All right, let's get these out of the freezer. Okay, frozen solid. And I will say that these are kind of messy in the fact that they just fall everywhere. So if they fall on the floor, pick them up before somebody steps on them, because that's a whole nother stain issue. But let's get these off of the stems. Like I said before, this is my first time ever doing this. I'm just unsure what to expect, but it seems pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna take these frozen little marbles, these frozen berries off the stems, and we're gonna put them in this bowl. So let's check it out. Oh my gosh, yeah, that is so much easier. Wow. This is so much better than having to pull them off one by one when they're fresh. Wow, this is awesome. The ones that got loose in the fridge or in the freezer. So I did put some gloves on because the second tray is starting to defrost pretty quickly, and I could tell that my hands were getting the stain, and that's the last thing I'm going to mention about stained hands. So. At the home stretch, these are all the ones that fell off in the freezer. To not get as many of those green ones that aren't ripe yet is what we have left over. So there's a few on here, but I'm not gonna go through the whole hassle of taking everything off. Straight to the compost. Don't give them to your chickens or anything like that, because again, toxic for pets. So I got most of the stems out of here. There are a few, but the internet did have this additional trick that if you put these in a bowl of water, the ripe berries are gonna sink and everything else should float to the top. And that's pretty much what's happening here. I don't know if you can see all those stems, and there's the green ones. They're all kind of coming to the top. Everything else is settling at the bottom. I'm gonna get my slotted spoon, just kind of skim across the top here. But a lot of this, as you could see, are the greens and the stems. So that's pretty cool. And everything's a process, right? It doesn't always happen as quick as we want it to, but there's a reason for that. Slow down and take the time. Take the time to figure it out and to do it right. We do have another way that we can get some of these out. Finer of a strainer than that spoon for sure. All right, let's go back to our slotted spoon. What I'm gonna do is just take a scoop, make sure that there's no stems on each scoop, and put them in another bowl. Okay, this looks pretty good. We got 4 cups, so that's plenty to make 1 round of jam. Just like any other jam I've made before, I'm gonna give this kind of a light mash just to bust open the skins so we can get that good flavor out. And you do wanna make sure, because we got them in the freezer, that they are defrosted completely. These are, because it took so long to get them off the stem. So, welcome back, Zoji Rushi. If you've watched any of my jam videos before, then you're familiar with this guy. He not only makes great breads, like yesterday I made a whole batch of fresh bagels. They were delightful. Pizza crust, bread, obviously, but he makes jam, and that's how we do it here. All right, so when I put these in, there was 4 cups of elderberries. Now that I've mashed them down, there's 3 cups, which is absolutely what we need to make this recipe. So 3 cups of your fruit, 3/4 cup sugar, 2 ounces pectin. This is optional. This just makes it a little bit thicker. I always use the pectin. Sometimes I don't measure it, kind of eyeball it. Don't take yourself so seriously, right? And a tablespoon of lemon juice. All right, now that all of our ingredients have been added, close them up. You know the drill. He's already on. He turns on as soon as you plug him in, and then you're going to select course. Now there's a little arrow that we follow to get to the jam course. So right now the arrow's up here on basic. It'll disappear when it gets to jam. For some reason he's just kind of hidden there. So we're gonna, now it's wheat, now it's dough, now it's quick. And there he is, right there, he's hiding. So hour and 20 minutes, gonna start. And then we wait. Okay, it is the next day. I cooked the elderberry jam in the bread maker, and I let the jam set for well over 15 hours. And I'm really disappointed because it is very loose. It is like syrup, more or less. And I looked it up, and this is probably because I didn't put enough pectin in. There was some other things that could keep it from thickening up, and that's like not a high enough temperature, but my bread machine always makes other jams perfectly, so I'm sure it reached that temperature. But I'm almost 100% certain that I didn't put enough pectin in it. So next time I will do that. And then I do have some options though. I could recook this on the stove and use more pectin and more sugar. I could probably put more sugar in. That will definitely thicken it up, and then let it cool again. And then I would probably have a thicker jam. Or you can use it as like a syrup. I mean, like for ice cream or pancakes or something like that. That's totally up to you if this happens to you. If it didn't and you have elderberry jam, then good, I'm glad. But I still want to try it. I still want to taste and see what it's all about. So I got my toast here, made on my homemade bread that I did in my bread machine. So check it out. I'll leave the link to Zoju Rishi in the description. Oh, this is going to be tough to spread because it's so watery. Let's see if I just pour a little bit. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Just a little bit on the edge. It looks really good. Elderberries have little seeds in them, so I'm guessing that it'll probably have a similar consistency as like raspberry jam, which has the little, crunchies to it, so we'll see. I really like the flavor. It's almost like a cross between a blueberry and maybe a grape. So it's very delicious, and I am gonna turn this back into jam. I'm gonna do it on the stove, add some more sugar and pectin, but not quite the success I was hoping for, but at least we found something that we can do with our elderberries. And I am gonna let Brian try just a little tiny piece. Brian, come here, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, good boy. Want to try some of this? He's probably thinking it's a vegetable, but he doesn't really want any, so I'm not gonna force him. All right, everybody, hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, like and subscribe, and come grow with us.